Africa is experiencing increasingly severe droughts and more frequent and intense adverse weather conditions. These are threatening staple foods for hundreds of millions of people on the continent. This has impacted food production mostly in Sub-Saharan Africa, with scientists and experts in the agriculture value chain calling for increased funding and education to boost productivity. News Centre's Perpetua Fasanmi-Peter speaks to analysts on sustainable agricultural practices in a bid to cushion the effect of climate change on Africa's food production.
Recent floods in Nigeria, wildfires in Algeria, and severe droughts in the Horn of Africa are evidence of the impacts of global warming on a size and pace never seen before. Despite Africa being the least culpable for causing climate change due to its least emission of harmful gases, the continent finds itself at the epicenter of the crisis.
For the agri sector, climate change has always played a very vital role in terms of the future of agriculture, not only in Nigeria or Africa, the entire world. And we see that today we've had effects of climate change on food production, where we had a production of about 100 hectares of farmland on maize, and we had excessive rain, and unfortunately, some of the commodity, our projection, we didn't meet up to our projection for that particular year on that commodity, and it was a loss on our own side.
The potential costs for the continent are enormous, with forecasts estimating that climate change will inflict a 2 to 4% annual loss in GDP in Africa by 2040. Unfortunately, only 1.7% of global climate money is directed toward programs involving smallholder farmers who produce up to 80% of food in Sub-Saharan Africa and Asia.
We need to combat desertification. We need to do more afforestation. We need to ensure that the land is protected. My own challenge with Africa is the fact that we are even relying on smallholder farming. And that's been the perennial challenge, unlike what you see in the Western world. When you do large-scale farming, it's easier to deploy your financing into that.
Smallholder farmers need to be educated on the effects of climate change. We need to educate them properly on the effect of climate change as it affects agriculture or the farm business. We need to also encourage private partners into investing more in climate financing, as it doesn't affect just one, it affects virtually everybody.
According to the International Monetary Fund, each degree Celsius increase corresponds to a 3 percentage point decrease in agricultural output in poor countries. Despite a rapidly rising population, crop yields in Sub-Saharan Africa are expected to fall by 5 to 17% by 2050. This calls for urgency, as it is increasingly becoming imperative for the government, private and individuals to act fast. Perpetua Fasanmi-Peter reporting for News Central.